You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
All right, let's start seated, and let's take our Jan Mudra. Jan Mudra, thumb and index finger together, other three fingers are outstretched. Just circle the shoulders back, relax the elbows down, sit nice and tall, and maybe just dropping the chin just slightly, not too restrictive through the neck. So just dropping the chin slightly so the forehead starts to bear down a little bit towards the mat in front of the feet. Taking a few steady and even breaths, breathing in and out of the nostrils. Start to feel the pranayama, the life force energy of the breath traveling into the body, all the way around the body. Down to the toes, down to the fingers, up to the head. And your exhale is a release, a letting go of anything that doesn't need to be with you throughout the practice. Really tuning in to where you are, being on the mat, and also being present within your focus, your drishti, and your body. And as you breathe in into that prana, just take the focus, the drishti, the inner awareness, down to the fingers, down to the hands, down to the wrists and the forearms. So just notice any sensations, any feelings in the lower arm, almost going inwards into the body. And finding inner strength into the wrists, the hands, and the forearms. At the end of the exhale, breath surrenders to quietude. And for a moment, you hang in the balance, suspended in the fertile spaciousness that is the source of the breath. At the end of the inhale, filled with the song of the breath, there is a moment when you are simply holding the tender mystery. And in these interludes, experience opens into exquisite vastness. With no beginning and no end, embrace this infinity of balance without reservation, as you are its vessel. Finding a slow and steady Ujjayi breath, breathing the Ujjayi breath into the fingers, the palms, the wrists, the forearms. Hearing the sound of your own breath, breathing in with a slight restriction at the back of the throat, breathing out. Sending warmth, strength, and energy where you need it most. finding any and your own intention for practice today, whatever springs to mind, whatever comes to the forethought of your third eye, finding inner strength, balance, and courage. And releasing from your ujjayi, just start to lift the chin, lengthening the neck as you release the shoulders down, lengthening the sides of the body away from the waist and hips, sitting nice and tall, feeling completely grounded, almost that rooted feeling to the earth, and that rising, that lift. And gently release the mudra, opening up the palms and start to wiggle through the fingers. And really feel each and every finger, thumb move individually, and start to intensify that as you start to stroke the palms, the base of the thumb, and start to circle and rotate through the wrist joint. Noticing clicks, crunches. Circling the other way. And then just flexing the wrist, pressing through the palms, opening up and stretching the fingers. And then releasing and letting the wrist be floppy. And then lifting up, pressing once more. Draw the elbows in towards the rib cage, draw the shoulders down towards the hips, pressing away. Stretching fingers, stretching thumbs, and release and let go floppy. Last time, again, drawing elbows into rib cage, down to hips, pressing away. And release and let go floppy. Interlace the fingers. Got a hair tie on me. Interlace the fingers, and then start to do a little kind of figure of 8 with the wrists. So leading from the knuckles, and then figure of 8 the other way. It's always a little bit of coordination is needed there. We always go one way automatically, but when we have to go that infinity symbol, that figure of 8, the other way always confuses us. And then release, and then just break the hands apart so that you're kind of a little bit of a breakdance movement. So you're starting to move through the fingers, the palms, the wrists, the forearms, the elbows, and then get it all involved into the shoulders. And then go the other way. Breakdance lesson 101. And release, slow down, shake the fingers out, shake the wrists, shake the elbows, shake the shoulders, and then circle shoulders. So just releasing through the shoulder girdle. And then circle the other way. Then releasing the feet, changing to place the other foot in front there. A little bit of shoulder strengthening coming up. So taking the hands out to the side into cactus, so 90-degree bend into the elbow. So start to draw the elbows down a little bit towards the waist. So you're going to feel weight into the arms. So you're not pulling very relaxed. That's very different to pull. So it's almost like you're pulling ropes by the side of you. So they might come down just an inch. Notice where you feel that. And then release. Draw the elbows in towards one another. Keep the elbows up towards the chin, reaching the fingertips up, pressing palms, pressing forearms together. Draw the shoulders downwards, and then start to open and go back past your range of motion. So you're pressing open the forearms and the elbows and the shoulders. So you're opening up through the rib cage. Try to get the shoulders up by the ears. And then bring forward. Elbows connect, palms connect. Keep lifting up. Draw the shoulder blades down. And then open. And last time, bring it in. Reach the fingers, lift through the elbows. Pressing palms, pressing elbows together. And then last time, open. And release. Circle through the shoulders. Good work. Let's come to our mat. While you're already on it, I will come to my mat, tabletop position. So just bringing the palms down and just taking a look at the fingertips here and noticing where the middle finger lays. So if the middle finger is facing forward or is it out to the side, think about drawing the thumbs in towards the center of the mat and the little fingers towards the outside of the mat. Take a look at where the wrist joint lies. Is there a crease, or are you a little bit further forward of the shoulders? And take a look at the eye of the elbow, the center of the elbow. So just again, gentle rotation, bringing the eye of the elbow forward and inwards. So gentle rotation through the wrists. Lift up through the abdomen, nice neutral spine here. Dropping belly, opening chest, pressing away from the mat into your cow. And exhaling, drawing up the belly. Keep pressing, rounding through shoulders into cat. Few more, cat and cow, really pushing away from the mat this time. And the last time, we're going to stay up into that cat position. You're going to press away from the mat as much as you can. Continue breathing, drawing the abdomen up towards the lower back, rounding through the spine. And then bring the fingertips up. So you're up onto the strong parts of the fingertips. Pressing away even further, scooping up through the belly. Dropping head, chin to chest. And then gently release. Take the knees wide, toes come together, and just wiggle yourself back into a wide leg child's pose as you reach the hands nice and wide of your mat. Again, spreading the fingertips, relaxing chest down between the shoulders, and the head comes to the mat or to a block. Now breathe here, relaxing the facial expression. Relaxing the head and the neck. Relaxing shoulders, spine, waist, hips, legs, feet. One more time, just draw back into your own personal intention of courage, strength, focus. Bring the fingertips back by the knees underneath the shoulders. Just press up and lift the knees together into an active child's pose this time. So keeping the toes, the heels together, lengthen the spine and release the hands back behind you. Commit into a reverse prayer. So maybe just reaching the fingertips, the palms together, open the shoulders, and wherever that reverse prayer stays is good. We're just warming up. So feel where that tightness, that tension may come into the wrists or the shoulders or the chest. Breathe out, relax the head down. And then start to release the reverse prayer, bringing the hands by the side of the body and come back up into tabletop position. So this time we're just going to press through the shoulders. So you're going to drop the shoulders down as much as you can between the kind of the shoulder girdle, and then we press up. So you're pressing down and press up. So you might just feel that the shoulder blades kind of come in towards one another. So we're not coming into cat, we're just staying neutral and pressing shoulders. Elbows may naturally bend a little bit. And then flip the palms over, face the fingertips towards you. And the deeper that you want this stretch to be, the further back you come onto the heels. So you're stretching through the front part of the wrist there. Again, keeping the fingertips spread, thumbs come into the center, little fingers go out to the side. Wiggle the fingers, make sure that you've got movement there. Wiggle the thumb, keep the backs of the hands down. And looking at the palms here, just flip the palms, take a moment to just rest them. No weight, no pressure. We're back down on our heels, so this is where we introduce our hasta bandha. So start to claw the fingers back. And the hasta bandha starts, it's a seal, it's a natural lock. It starts coming underneath the palm here. So we're going to draw the fingers back to create that pressure. And release, palms go flat. You might feel the center of the palm come down. Once more, start to claw the fingers back and you feel that energy come underneath the palm of your hand. Press into the thumbs, press into the fingers, and release to flat. And then once more, hasta bandha. And then tilt the weight forward. Now come back up into that tabletop position, still feeling that hasta bandha. Breathing, Ujjayi breath. And see if that's taken a lot of weight out of the wrists. And release, come off of the wrists and start to circle. So when we start to learn how to do our bandhas, you might feel tightness and pressure into the inside of your hands. But it's rather than dumping into the wrists when we do our arm balance. Sliding forward into heart pose, onto the forearms, and then lifting hips up, relaxing chest down. Maybe you take it onto the chin or to the forehead. Melting chest through the shoulder girdle. Down to the mat, keeping the hips nice and lifted. Drawing belly in. And then coming onto the forearms. Maybe tucking the toes here, or you can leave the knees down. Find some strength here as you press away from the mat. And this is a good opportunity to try that hasta bandha here. So you start clawing back the fingertips, lifting up through the center of the palms, pressing away through the forearms, the elbows, breathing, ujjayi, pressing back through the soles of the feet. And nice and slowly lower the body down. Bring the hands underneath the head and just release and sway out. You can probably hear the rain on the roof. So sweeping right hand back behind you, taking hold of right foot and lengthen thigh away to release through the hip flexor, through the quadricep, the entire front of the thigh. Breathe into the kneecap, back of the knee and the hamstring. Nice deep exhale, draw the heel in towards the buttock. And then changing the grip to the outer side of your foot. You're going to press up a little bit so that you start to lengthen the thigh away and maybe the knee lifts off, and maybe the chest lifts off. So a little bit of a back bend, opening up through the chest and shoulder, and you're lifting up. It's kind of like a sphinx bow. And then release, lower down, and sway out. Left arm, left foot. Lengthen thigh away, draw the hip flexor, exhale. Notice any tightness into the knee, the thigh. And changing the grip as if you were coming into a dancer pose, opening up the chest and the shoulder and then pressing away through the mat as you start to lengthen the thigh away, pressing the foot into the hand, rounding through pubic bone, hip bones, pressing forearm, palm, lifting chest, breathing and release as you exhale, sway out, and then pressing back, tabletop, tucking the toes, and coming into bent legs, downward facing dog. Releasing through the heels. When you're ready, release both heels together, pressing chest back towards the thighs. And again, feel the palms nicely spread, middle fingers facing forward, thumbs coming inwards, little fingers going outwards. See if you can draw in the hasta here. So you're clawing the fingertips back, lifting that seal of energy. So you take the pressure out of the wrists. Then lifting up right leg up and back behind you. Open up the hip here so you can start to do figure of eights. So we're going to drop the knee down. You come the shoulders in line with the wrists and then kick back. So knee comes down towards the front right elbow and kick it back. Last time, knee comes down. Again, be aware of those wrists, shoulder strength, holding into that three-legged dog. Pressing shoulders back, nice shoulder levels, placements here. And then release the right foot down. Come off the wrist for a moment, down to child's pose. Take the hands back behind you and just massage the wrists, roll them backwards and forwards. Give the fingers a wiggle, stroke the palms and prepare to come up. Exhale, down dog. Left leg lifts, open up the hip. Again, engage hasta. Release right heel down and exhale, knee to left elbow as you figure of eight. Press back. Twice more. Breathe out as you come forward. Breathe in as you send the leg back. Last time, hold into three-legged dogs. Kicking donkey or scorpion, many names. And then release, come down to the mat, take a moment, bring the hands back, circle through the wrists, wiggle fingers. Rolling up through the spine, come into kneeling. Sitting nice and tall and just feel that your spine is long, strong, tall. You're focused, ready for practice, and coming forward into pigeon, so right knee to right wrist, gentle flexion through that foot, dropping hips down, sitting nice and tall for a moment. You're up onto the fingertips. Draw that left hip downwards, maybe using a block underneath the right glute, and then come down to the mat. Deep breath out here. Really allow the pigeon to release and let go as much as you can into the glutes. Deep, slow breaths. Send the prana to where it needs to be. Feel that right hip opening, the inner groin releasing, the hip flexors letting go and stretching. Walking the hands back. Placing the palms, preparing to come up into one leg, three-legged downward dog, tucking the back toe, lifting knee, strong here, knee draws in. You're pressing away from the mat, pressing, rounding through shoulders, and then send that leg back. Three-legged dog, big stretch out, wiggle if you need, through the hip, and release. Left knee, left wrist. Pigeon pose, opening up that left ankle as you need, up onto the fingertips, dropping weight through the hips, sitting tall, and then starting to lengthen the body over the left thigh. Releasing the head. Really releasing through tightness of glutes, hip flexors, inner groin, piriformis, outer hip. Deep breath out, release a little bit more. Trying to draw that right hip towards the left heel. Starting to walk the hands back. Lifting up for a moment. Gentle back bend, relax the shoulders, hands come down. Press into the mat, tuck the back toe, and then lift the knee, draw the knee in towards the chest. You're going to press away from the mat. And then send it back. Wiggle out through the leg and hip as you need. Release the foot. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then looking forward. And if you wish to, you can come into a seated from there. I can't do that, so you can send the feet through, come into seated, and extend the legs out in front of you. Sitting nice and tall, drawing the toes back, spread the toes nice and wide as if they were hands, drawing the big toes in towards the center, little toes out to the side. And then start to point the feet, but pointing through the ball of the foot. So keeping the toes risen and you're pointing through the ball of the foot, stretching through the arches. This is where we're going to, learn to hook the toes like this. So keep pressing ball of foot down and then the toes point. So then you stretch through the tops of the feet, draw the toes back and then draw the feet up into flexion. Nice. Once more, press through ball of the feet, keep the toes nice and wide, keep the toes lifted, and then press toes into full point. Everything is engaged into the legs here. Draw the toes up, and then draw the feet up, keep the toes nice and spread. This time, cross the right leg over, and just hook the toes around one another. So you're going to bring the toes, so both feet are flexed, squeezing the inner thighs together. This is going to be really critical for our Astavakrasana. Pressing the foot into the toes, toes into the foot. Breathing and release. Change sides. So hooking those toes around the back, pressing foot into the toes, toes into foot, squeezing inner thighs together. And as you kind of push the feet away, the legs squeeze together anyway. And gently release and give yourself a little hug. Release the spine and let the head release. So bring yourself back. Let's take a butterfly pose here. Soles of the feet come together. All 10 toes touch. Sit nice and tall, shoulders over hips. And then start to draw the belly back. So you're tucking the pelvis under. Draw the head forward towards the heels. Deep breath out. Release. Maybe the thumb comes on the inside of the sole of the foot and the fingers meet the tops of the feet. Relax the shoulders. From here, we're going to take a twist. So we're going to start to walk the hands over towards the right thigh, staying nice and low. Then when you get there, lengthen up the spine. So you breathe in and then you exhale, fold. So you're going to try to keep that left hip nice and grounded, releasing the head to the right knee. Nice. And then bring yourself back into center. When you get there, inhale, lengthen the spine, open across the chest. Exhale, release a little bit more. This time, start to walk over to the left. So keeping the body nice and low, drawing back right hip, and then lengthen on your inhale, and exhale, twist. Start to bring yourself back into the center. Draw back as you release. Breathe out and then inhale. Lengthen spine. Crown of the head reaches forward. And you're going to press up into seated, extending the legs out in front of you. So right leg comes in. And bring it all the way up to the buttocks here. And then try and release that right buttock down. So we're just going to sit nice and tall here. Let's take a twist. So right arm comes back behind you. Left arm might hug the knee or come across. But get the belly really free of that thigh so that you can sit nice and tall, opening the chest out to the sky, to the side of your mat. And this time, press through the fingers here. So you're going to really widen the hands, again, drawing the thumb outwards and little finger outwards, spreading the gap between the fingers. Draw back into center and then take an opposition twist. Hand comes over the knee. And then bring back into center, lifting up that right foot and opening up the hip here. So we're going to start to do a few circles. This is where we start to get into our preparation. So really feel how mobile that hip is, how heavy the leg is. Think lightness. Keep lifting up. Forwards, backwards. See if you can draw it back into what we call an archer. So you can sit tall, draw the knee back towards the shoulder. Remember, this underneath leg is active, as is this right foot. And then bring it across the body. So a seated pigeon this time. And you're going to draw the shin, the calf in towards the chest. Maybe that foot hooks into the elbow. And then you can just sit. Nice. Relax shoulders. Let's come into a compass from here. So left hand takes outer foot, right hand threads through, and then start to extend the leg. You might not get there too deep, looking underneath armpit. Pressing sole of foot away. And release. And send the leg long. Drawing in left foot, placing sole right by the thigh, and then sitting nice and tall. Take that twist, get the belly free of the thighs. So it's a little bit different twist because ordinarily we would bring that foot over. So a little different. Elbow across, or hugging the knee, spreading fingers. Bring back into center, opposition twist. So hand might rest underneath the right knee and open the chest. You can use that elbow against that left knee as leverage. So twists are important when we come into Astavakrasana as well. So we really want to have a nice rotation through the spine. Want to have nice open hips, nice open shoulders. Bring yourself back into center. Lift the foot and then start to open the knee out to the side. Rocking the baby. A few figure of eights, a few circles. In the archer pose, you can sit nice and tall, drawing knee back. Underneath leg is active. Again, spreading those toes. And then seated pigeon, maybe that foot comes into the elbow. Not on this side so much. Trying not to release back too much, but sitting nice and tall. Deep work into those piriformis. Outer hip. Breathe tightness away. And then coming into that compass position. So taking the hand onto the outer foot, and then left hand goes through and under, and then start to extend the leg, looking underneath right armpit this time, pressing through the sole of the foot, keeping nice and tall through the body. Oh, this leg is shaking. And gently release the leg, send it long, sit nice and tall, reach up. Let's take a full forward fold this time to release through the spine. Exhale. Give yourself a little wiggle. And then start to roll up through the spine, bringing the legs with you. Let's do a teepee twist here. So placing a block in between the thighs, keeping the thighs nice and squeezed together. Again, twisting out to the side, keeping the pelvis nice and stable, opening up the chest. Bring back into center, take it to the other side. And let's start coming back into center and come back into our elephant trunk first of all. So when we come into our elephant trunk, left leg goes out in front of us, and we try and get this leg up as much as we can, up onto the shoulder, and it might just rest onto the upper arm. The further down it is, it's going to be heavier. So if you can hoik it up there like it's a backpack, great. It's tricky. Hands come down, and this is where you can use the blocks to give you that bit of height, but you've got to rock the body forward. So you've got to have that strength. We tilt the body forward, draw in through the belly, and then press up through the hands. Find strength looking forward. Good. And release. And give a shake out. Come to the other side. So one side might be a little bit stronger, a little bit easier than the other. Work out the wrists if you need to. Getting that leg as high as it can, up on top of the shoulder. And then hands come down to the blocks. And then pressing up, lifting forward. Keeping that right leg off of the mat. Draw in through abdominals and come down and release. Whoa. Okay, so that's our elephant trunk. Let's come into our Astavakrasana from the side. So I've been having a look at lots of videos, lots of photographs of 8-angle pose, Astavakrasana. And some people have the bottom foot underneath, and some people have the bottom foot on the top. So again, I'm not going to say which one is right and which one is wrong, but I think it's more about which one you prefer. And again, when you squeeze those inner thighs together, like you're really locking that arm in there, the legs naturally extend, and that's why we did that work with the feet, is you're pressing one foot into the other and drawing the other foot back. So when we come into the twist, the legs naturally extend. So hand comes through. We want to place, and this is where the block comes in handy to sit on, gives you extra height. So arm comes through and under, placing the palms, and then maybe hooking those feet already. Then rocking yourself forward, and you start to extend the legs, looking towards the toes. My wrist is a little bit weaker today than it was the other day. Let's start pressing the feet. Yeah, look towards the toes. Nice. Lift the butt, press away from the mat. Remember, yes. Amazing. And come back either onto the block or to the mat. Yeah, let's take it to the other side. So arm comes through and under. Remember, those legs have to squeeze into that upper arm. And you're in a chaturanga position, so the wrists are underneath the shoulders and the shoulders are forward of the wrists. And when you lower into that chaturanga, so when you come forward, again, choosing which one, either the bottom foot goes over the top or top foot goes over bottom. Drawing elbows in towards the midline, squeezing the thighs together, lifting, pressing, looking. Nice. Come off the wrists and circle through. Let's try it from the elephant trunk version. So you can do it on the blocks, which obviously gives you the height, and then you can come forward, up and over. I find this much harder. So let's start by finding the elephant trunk. This is where you have to bring that underneath leg in to hook over. So that's where it's a little bit stronger through the body. I don't know how much strength I have today. Oh, nice transition. Not too bad. Oh. Take the bit. Okay, try the other side, or try that side again, whichever you prefer. Oh, going to come off the wrists in a minute. Nearly done. Take a rest if you need. That side not so good. That side not so good. Amazing. Look at the toes. Press through the fingers. Hasta Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Ujjayi breath. Oh, well done. Good work, good work. All right, let's come off the wrists. Just circle through. Give them a bit of a massage. So use the thumb into the joint. And there is a lot of tremendous weight going through the wrists. You know, we have to honor our body in these arm balances. And if arm balances aren't for you, the thing with Astavakrasana being one of the easiest poses to come into is that you're at a very low level. There's not too much risk of falling. If you tend to fall from Astavakrasana, it's just downwards, doesn't tend to be forwards. And the strength in the legs really helps to extend those legs out. And then you use that chaturanga as you press through and hug. So it's all about hugging, really. Massaging of the wrist. Oh, it's nice rain today. It's not too heavy. And then you can start to just do that little figure of eights or the break dancing moves. And release. Let's come down to the mat. Make yourself warm if you need to. And then just start to roll down through the spine. Releasing the spine to the mat, releasing the head, relax through the facial expression, relax and spread the shoulders, and then draw the knees in. Maybe you interlace the fingers on top of the shins, or you can just hold onto the knees and relax the elbows by the side of you onto the mat. And really now just feel the spine start to imprint underneath you. Deep and slow breaths, and then extend the legs up to the sky, heels in line with the hips. Draw the toes together here, so heels and big toe touches, and then reach up the arms, keeping the shoulder blades down and planted, not drawing the shoulder blades away from the mat. Reach the fingertips away and just let all of that blood flow from fingers to palm to wrist to arm to shoulder. Let the blood flow from toes to ankles to legs, to thighs to hips. Circle wrists and toes together. A little bit of coordination. They both move together in union. And circle the other way. And keeping the right knee in towards the chest, left knee either bent or extends along the mat. We're going to take hold of the right foot, start to extend it up, but keep the left hand onto the outer side of that foot, and the right hand comes through and under. So it's technically coming into a reclined compass. So drawing that thigh downwards, trying to anchor through the left side of the hip. Maybe that right foot extends. It may not, because obviously we're not folded at the hips, we're not sitting. So you've got a lot more extension through the body here, through the psoas, through the hip flexors. Nice and gently release. Take a half happy baby. Whilst you're there, draw the hip away from the waist, draw the thigh downwards, and the knee is bent. Sole of the foot pressing up towards the sky. Left arm might be by the side of the body or out to the side at shoulder height. Let's take it into a twist. So left hand comes across, and you might extend that leg into your reclined twist here. So you're going to push out through the right foot, extending through the back of that right leg. Trying to open the chest up to the sky, opening through the right shoulder, right collarbone. Bringing back into center, reclined pigeon. So right foot goes over left thigh this time and drawing that knee in. Relax through the face and the neck. Keep the neck nice and long, not arching through the cervical vertebra. Then release the hands. Release that left foot down and slide the leg along, keeping that right leg on top. And then when you get there, relax into the hip. Let the knee be heavy. Relax into the glute. There's no tension or tightness into that right buttock. Nice open tree position. And then gently lift the thigh and place the foot down into Shavasana for a moment's rest. Draw knees in, roll and massage out a little bit through the spine. That's repeating all of that on the left. This time we start to guide the knees out with a little bit of a circle. First of all, notice right and left hip opening, softness, the mobility that we've worked through. Left knee stays in, right leg extends. This is where we take the right hand to the outer left foot and left hand comes underneath the knee and you start to extend the leg, looking underneath the right armpit, trying to anchor through the right side of the body. It's hard, wants to roll over. That left leg is heavy because we are not bent at the waist and seated position. It's a very different posture. Opening through right shoulder. Nice and slowly release, come into half happy baby. The leg is already there, so get the thigh free of the waist. Draw the knee down. Preparing to come into the twist and extending that top leg if you wish. So right hand to left foot, rolling onto the hip, extending left leg out. Drawing left arm, shoulder, collarbone downwards. Bend the knee, bring it back into center for reclined pigeon. Interlace the fingers behind the thigh. Draw the knee towards you. Relax through face, neck, chest, shoulders. Spine is long, tailbone drawn down. Release the hands, release the right foot. Keep the left foot where it is. Slide the leg along the mat. And then when that right leg is all the way down, you can start to release through that left buttock, left hip. So the knee is suspended in a tree. And lifting the thigh and lifting that foot and placing it down onto the mat into Shavasana. Just widen up the feet a little. Take the arms out to the sides. Spread the body out here. Feel the shoulder blades melting. Waist, back, hips. Breathing out. Drawing knees in once more. Lift up the head and draw the head in towards the knees. Tight, tight ball here. And then start to release the spine, release the tailbone, release the shoulders, release the head. Take the knees nice and wide, full happy baby. So lifting the feet up towards the sky, just rocking and rolling from side to side, massaging through the waist and the lower back and the sacrum. And then coming back into the center. Nice deep exhale. Lengthen to draw the thighs down. And then if you can, take hold of the soles of the feet, keeping the tailbone nice and lengthened. Start to extend the legs. So you're going to extend from the knee, trying to keep the thighs where they are, and open the toes out to the side of your mat. If you need to, you can release the hands to the calves and hold on to the calves or hold on to the thighs. It's wherever feels good. Deep stretch on the inner groin. Keep lengthening tailbone down, drawing the sacrum, the pelvis downwards. And then bend at the knee and bring the soles of the feet together into reclined butterfly. Taking the hands up onto the body, left hand onto the heart, right hand onto the belly, releasing the elbows by the side of you. Let's take 10 Ujjayi breaths here, slow and steady Ujjayi. Breathing into the solar plexus, breathing into the heart. Sending the prana to the hands, the palms, the wrists. And when we come into arm balances, we have to have a level of courage to commit to focus, and our heart gives us the faith that it is possible to any level, however far, that we want to be able to take that arm balance or posture. So faith, conviction and courage, and of course practice to find flexibility and strength. And releasing the hands out to the side, just lifting the thighs together. Taking a restorative rest pose here, so feet go wide, knees drop in towards one another. And if you feel that you need to open up the chest and shoulders for a little bit of release, take the hands just up overhead. Relaxing everything here. And making your way into final relaxation in Shavasana. So hands come down by the body, palms face up, heel toe the feet in and slide the feet out, opening the hips, the knees, the thighs, the calves, the ankles, and the toes, relaxing. Making tiny adjustments if you need to make yourself more comfortable. As you now lie in your final relaxation and rest after our Astavakrasana practice. Allow your focus now to just drift away about anything other than breathing and lying on the mat. Find a steady flow of breath, that flow of prana, that life force traveling around the body, providing energy to where it's most needed. And I'll give you a few minutes of silence and let you know when it's time to come back around. Beginning to take a few deeper breaths. Bringing awareness back to your surroundings. Back on the mat, back into the body. Wiggling fingers. Mobilizing wrists. Wiggling toes, mobilizing ankles. Rolling the head from side to side, giving yourself a stretch. And taking all the time you need to return back up to a comfortable seat where we began. Bringing our hands into Anjali Mudra at heart center. And again, just dropping the chin lightly down towards the chest. Just feel the stretch through the back of the neck, letting the head slightly be heavy. Relaxing shoulders away from ears and lengthening the sides of your body. And just noticing how you feel, any sensations, experiences, and feelings that come up for you as you sit after practice. And also returning back to your own personal intention of finding focus, commitment, courage, and strength. And remembering that intention can not just be used for your mat, but it can be used for your daily life. So taking all of that intention with you into your weekend or your week ahead. And always remembering to give yourself a huge, big thank you, big pat on the back for achieving some wonderful arm balances of 8 angle pose today. And I thank you. Namaste.